What if the solution sitting right in front of us feels uncomfortable because it replaces highlights with habits and chaos with structure? Here's my promise to you tonight. I'll walk you through why this idea exists, not just that it exists. I'll show you the basketball logic, the cap reality, the rotation math, and the playoff matchups that make this conversation real. I'll hold the reveal until the moment it earns your attention. And when we get there, you'll know exactly why the move is on the table and how it changes the way we win when the lights are. Hottest dots start with the film. In the half court, our offense still breezes through two pillars, LeBron manipulating help like a chess master, and Anthony Davis bending coverages at the rim and on the roll. But when the game slows and whistles stack, we've too often lacked a place to park the ball, reset the spacing, and punish defenses without sprinting our stars into the ground. The nights you felt us grind, it wasn't just shot making. It was possessing quality screen angles, second side triggers, and guards who turn a dead action into a living advantage. That's the gap this conversation attacks. Layer 2 is size and stamina. The West isn't polite. You feel it the second Jokic leans, the moment Minnesota makes you jump twice. The instant OKC's arms erase a passing lane you thought was there. We don't need a superhero cape. We need a shape. 5 guys who see the same picture at the same time ball pressure you can trust. Rotations that arrive on the catch, defensive rebounding that ends the play without a prayer. This league rewards teams that remove the 5 free points you donate in the last 6 minutes. An offensive board, a leaf ball turnover, a foul born of panic, a missed rotation, and a broken possession you tried to fix with a bailout shot. Layer 3, the apron era. This isn't just luxury tax, it's architecture. You don't get to buy mistakes at the deadline anymore. The second apron punishes indecision. If you're going to move a premium chip, it has to solve multiple problems at once. Protect LeBron's mileage. Stabilize late-game possessions. Keep a D near the rim where he's a terror. And give the coaching staff a nightly blueprint instead of a nightly patch job. You can't chase 2 timelines in October and expect to steal 7 games in May. So what are we actually missing? Not all-star flash. Not a 28-a-night savior. We're missing certainty. The kind of guard who turns noise into signal. The one who calls the coverage on the first step of the screen, not the fourth. The one who eats your toughest perimeter assignment and still organizes. The offense with the patience of a surgeon and the ego of a janitor. When the game gets small, you need a grown-up in the backcourt who knows where the ball should go and when not to force. What isn't there? Let's talk about our pieces. Austin Reeves has leveled up as a connector catch, read, and punish. When he's allowed to be a secondary brain, the whole offense snaps into rhythm. Asking him to be everything, every trip, is how you dull his edge. LeBron still flips series, but we can't spend that currency in November. Ad is at his cruelest when he's defending the paint and finishing the action, not plugging holes 3 levels up. Our wings need clarity. If the ball finds energy, their jobs simplify cut, screen, sprint, shoot. But clarity starts at the point of attack, not in the corner. Now a quick cap reality check clean, not nerdy. In this landscape, mid-tier contracts aren't just salaries. They're levers. Picks aren't just lottery tickets. They're bargaining chips that signal your horizon. If you spend both the lever and the chip on maybe, you're broke by March. The move we're discussing will keep at least one future first in the drawer. Hedge with protections and distribute responsibilities across the rotation so you're not living and dying with an 8-man gamble every night. Before the reveal, let me paint the matchups that live rent-free in my head. Versus Denver. The only way to survive 7 games is to turn their comfort into questions. That means cleaner entrances into our offense, so we aren't burning clock just to start actions, and perimeter defense that refuses to give Murray his rhythm packages. Versus Minnesota, you drag Gobert and Cat into decisions, and keep your own low man out of foul jail. Versus OKC, you need a guard who doesn't panic against length, who flips the advantage back with timing, not speed. Against all three, the share requirement is the same. Perimeter leadership that lowers the temperature of the game and raises your floor on both ends. Okay, curtain time. The profile on our board is a championship guard. A smaller usage star who makes your stars bigger. A defender whose first step in help beats the pass. A playmaker who runs elbow triggers, lives in DHOs, and turns late clock chaos into a good shot without needing the ball to feel important. You know the archetype. You've watched him wreck your night. You've seen him close playoff games without touching the ball for 3 possessions, then strip a driving lane at 0-37 and end the argument. Yes, that name. The conversation inside the building has circled back to a Drew Holiday-type acquisition. Take a breath. I didn't say parade. I didn't say announce it. I said the logic is live because the basketball answers line up. With a guard like that next to Reeves, you lift LeBron's usage into smarter pockets. You let a D defend the stuff that wins you series. And you give the wings an offensive map that doesn't depend on heroics. You also buy your defense a late clock identity. Switch when you can. Fight when you must. Peel switch on command. And end possessions with 5 guys on balance. How does that look Tuesday night? Not just in June. Your first quarter becomes a clinic in patience. Early offense when it's there. Deep breath when it's not. You see more 2.9 help. Fewer reach-ins, more 2-pass threes. Fewer, somebody please save us pull-ups. Your bench inherits a real job description pressure minutes that change the pace. Not just stay afloat. And most important, LeBron gets to be the boogeyman on your timetable. Not the metronome on every possession. Rotation-wise, picture 3 guard buckets. 1. The on-ball adult who sets tone, takes the hardest cover, and makes the whistle your ally. 2. Reeves as the secondary creator-keeper of the advantage. 3. A change-of-pace defender driver who attacks second units and eats garbage time with purpose. The wings keep your length. The bigs keep your rim. Closing lineups become matchup tools, not compromises. If they're in drop, you torture them with DHO and screening angles. If they switch, you post a mismatch and hammer the glass. Risks because honesty is the only currency that spends in this room. You risk shooting variance on certain nights. You risk a few dead possessions while reps build. You risk the headline that says we overpay for vibes if the offense dips for a week. But ask yourself this. What are you risking now if you do nothing? Another season where the plan is be perfect, or one where your structure is strong enough to win when you're merely good. Let me put our stars under the right light. LeBron doesn't need more weight. He needs more clean possessions. This move gives him more. AD doesn't need more jobs. He needs more time in his favorite one destroyer. This move buys it. Reeves doesn't need a promotion. He needs a partner who reads at his speed. This move pairs them. Everybody else becomes sharper because their tasks get smaller and clearer. You want the draft and cap ripple? Getting the guard answer now turns April into a Buffett instead of a scavenger hunt. You keep a first with protections for a frontline need. You hunt value in the middle for length and shooting. And you're not forced into panic shopping for a lead ball handler in a bad market. Meanwhile, your cap curve stops playing catch-up because you built a spine, perimeter control up top, rim control below, and LeBron AD as your artist. Not your firefighters. Let's talk culture, because banners are painted in habits. Pay attention to what this signals to the room. It says, we are who we say we are, defense first, ball movement always, stars supported by structure. It says, we are not chasing yesterday's names. We are buying tomorrow's wins. It says, if you fit this blueprint, you're part of the solution. If you don't, we'll be decisive. Now zoom back to the West. Denver hates guards who deny comfort. Minnesota hates guards who ignore traps and punish indecision. OKC hates guards who take away the first read and still score through contact when the possession dies. A guard like this changes those series before they start, not because he scores 30, but because he removes 12 easy points the other team relies on. That is how you win without perfect shooting nights. That is how you survive a bad whistle. That is how you make 7 games feel like 4. I know what some of you are typing right now. Shooter over defender. Big over guard. Youth over veteran. All fair. But frameworks win titles. If you can only beat teams one way, the playoffs will find you out. If you can win a rock fight on Monday, a track meet on Wednesday, and a chess match on Friday, you're a problem in May. This move doesn't end the conversation. It opens it dots, so where do I land? If the cost stays in the lane of sanity, some salary matching, a protected future first, and role players who can be replaced by scheme and development, I do it. I do it because it lowers the nightly difficulty for our stars. I do it because it gives our defense a predictable backbone. I do it because it raises our floor without slamming our ceiling. And I do it knowing the narrative will be loud for a week and quiet in June when possession-by-possession basketball decides everything. Before I close, I want you in this. Would you move a protected first for a championship guard if it means Reeves keeps his rhythm, LeBron saves legs, and AD plays more at the rim? How would you stagger minutes to keep the bench alive? Which series scares you more right now, Denver's patience, Minnesota's size, or OKC's length? And does this move specifically answer that fear? Drop your take below. I read every argument, and this channel is best when your brains and passion meet in the comments. My concise verdict. I'm for the guard. Not because it's flashy, but because it's repeatable. Because it turns our best players into the best versions of themselves. Because it transforms "we need everything to go right" into "we need our rules to hold." That's how you build a June team in October. If you want the follow-ups on frameworks, minute maps, and how the rotation flexes week to week once the dust settles, stay here with me on Lakers News Fan Report. Tap subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this with the one friend who texts you at 1 a.m. after every 2-point loss. We're going to keep cutting through the noise together, one honest breakdown at a time.